understand your first LA show, right?
Yeah, that was my first show not in England.
Wow.
Yeah,
Out of England.
Yeah.
Amazing.
Crazy.
How does it feel?
It was so cool. It was so much fun. I really enjoyed it.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's
Nice.
really surreal to be like not in England.
Yeah. And when you're in England, do you usually play like acoustic shows or shows with bands, or what's your preference or the thing that you usually do?
So usually I play by myself, but I'd love to
Nice.
play with a bigger setup, like a bigger band at some point. But yeah, usually I just do that. I just play them how I wrote them.
Yeah. And I hear that you're into scoring, and could you imagine yourself like doing a show with an orchestra or something like that at some point?
Oh my god, stop. Literally don't even, because like that's like my #1 dream is to play with an orchestra. Like I'm obsessed with like film scores, and
Yeah.
like cello is my favorite instrument.
Ooh, cello.
If I could play any instrument, it'd be the cello.
Well, I mean,
Sure.
speaking of that, I feel like you could teach yourself, because you did teach yourself how to play piano, right?
Yeah, I taught myself piano and guitar actually.
Oh, wow, cool.
Yeah.
That's amazing.
I don't think I could teach myself cello though.
No?
I feel like that's like not one I can teach myself on YouTube, but I could try.
I feel like you could.
I could try.
I definitely feel like you could. What is it about, tell us some of the scoring composers that really tickle your fancy.
So I love John Williams, who scores like all of the films.
Yeah.
And I really love Danny Elfman, who scored Edward Scissorhands, which is my favorite film. Like all of the Tim Burton films, that whole like dreamy, creepy kind of vibe.
Yeah. Did you catch the Danny Elfman Coachella thing?
No, I didn't. What was that?
I think he did like a whole thing, because didn't he do The Simpsons too?
Oh yes.
So
yes,
he did.
Yeah.
He did a performance. I didn't catch it, but I heard about it. And he did like a live performance of all of these things that he scored, including the Simpsons theme, and like he rocked it out and made it all punk, is what I heard. And
oh
I'm
my god!
still
Okay, I
trying
have
to
to
catch
check
it.
This is,
yes.
I don't know how I missed this.
Yeah, I think there's a stream of it. I don't know if any of you have seen it out there, but yeah, I heard it was really amazing. And there are actually some questions that the audience have, which I don't want to miss. We do like an AMA thing.
Oh, fun! Yeah.
Yeah, and I mean, there's tons of people here that already know you, and new people that are just finding you for the first time that want to know more about you, including AKHE85 is wondering what motivates you to make music.
I would say,
big question.
Yeah, big question. Honestly, like it's such an outlet for me. Like the first thing I do when I feel anything is to sit at the piano. Like when I'm anxious, I sit at the piano. Like even if I'm not writing, like just the motion of playing piano calms me down.
Yeah.
And I think it's like, yeah, they really are like, my songs are really like diary extracts, and I think it's such an outlet for me, and I'm so grateful to be able to just like get it out in that way. And
yeah,
probably that.
What would you do without it?
I don't know. I have no idea. No, honestly, it really helps me through stuff.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
Sophia Martin wonders what inspires your songwriting.
Oh, that's a good one. I guess like I get inspired by films a lot. I get inspired by my own experiences. Mainly, I probably write about like my own life and experiences and stuff.
Yeah.
But everything kind of inspires it. Just observing.
Yeah. Inspiration is everywhere.
Inspiration, yeah, for sure.
And you have an EP out that dropped last year.
Yeah.
And what would you say is some of the inspiration that can be found there?
I guess like that EP is so, I feel like all 4 songs on that EP are like different sides of me. They're all slightly different vibes. And I think that EP is me like really exploring the beginnings of my sound, and like, I feel like what inspired that? A lot of film music inspired that EP. It's the Danny Elfman and like the Amelie soundtrack.
Oh yeah,
is
you're naming some classics.
Yeah. That Edward Scissorhands, all of that stuff.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, I mean, you're a relatively new artist, right? You have your debut EP out. What do you think is challenging, kind of establishing who you are to people?
What is challenge?
Or do you find anything challenging?
Oh,
I mean, as a new artist, it's like you're putting yourself in front of people and you're saying, this is who I am. Have you found that challenging at all?
I think it is kind of, it's very vulnerable, especially I feel like with the music I write is very like, oh, this is like this horrible thing that happened to me, like let me talk about that. Like just, I guess like it's scary, but then I think that like, I feel like when I listen to music and I can relate, I take so much comfort in that. And I think that like, if someone heard a song of mine and was like, oh, I know that one, like that happened to me, like that is kind of like, it's challenging to be vulnerable, but I think it's worth it, you know?
Yeah, definitely. Yeah. I mean, to have other people relate to something that you're going through is like automatically, I mean, even me, if I made like an Instagram caption where I was like a little vulnerable and someone was like, me too, it's like, oh, yay. Feels good. So I totally understand what you're saying. Something that I also think is really interesting about you that I read is that you have synesthesia. Is that how you say it? Can you explain what that is a little bit?
Right. So synesthesia is different for everyone, but it's basically when you can have, it's like the relationship between music and, or like sounds and color. It's kind of like they hold hands with each other, and it's something that I didn't really realize that I had that was weird. Well, not weird, but like not
unusual.
Unusual. Yeah. And I kind of remember saying to a friend, I was like, yeah, because Thursday is dark green. And they were like, what are you talking about? My friends are like, what? And I was like, does everyone not think that, like, people don't, like, view it that way? And then I feel like when I'm writing, it's always so visual. And, like, when I hear music, in my mind's eye, some people can have, like, outward projections, which I don't have. But, like, yeah, I see color and shapes and textures. And yeah, along with music.
And surely that's influenced how you write music as well, right? Yeah.
100%. I feel like I let it guide me. I feel like if I'm writing something and it doesn't feel very like visual to me, if I don't feel it and see it, like I feel like I kind of sometimes steer away from writing. Like I'll go in a different direction or something.
Beautiful, beautiful. Well, Emma Bradley, thank you so much for being here for your debut show outside of London, right? Or outside of England at least.
Me.
It was such a treat to have you, and we hope you'll come back again
100%.
soon.